immediate sort of goals, I think the next number would be 800 kg plus 800 kg or plus total.
What up, folks? Welcome to the STS podcast with my awesome guest, Tom Wewege. Welcome to the show. Did I pronounce your last name right?
It's Wewege, but I've heard all
Wewege.
pronunciations. It's a very difficult surname, so it's fine.
Wewege. Actually sounds pretty cool. And what origin is that?
Thank you. Apparently, my grandmother did some digging years back, and she said that it's German. I'm not quite too sure of the accuracy of that, but yeah, it's a strange surname. I've never met another Wewege that is not obviously within our family. So it's a weird one.
I looked up my surname. Katashaw is a Ugandan surname, and I looked it up on these random websites, and it's in South Africa, it's literally my family and one other family total who have the surname. 13 people total. And then I think internationally, I think there's like 20,000 of us total in the world. It's like, that's a pretty fucking rare surname.
Unique's good. Unique's good.
So for those of us who do not know you, Tom, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, first and foremost, obviously, I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm a powerlifter, which is my passion. Been doing it for 4 years now. Completely fell in love with the sport. Found the sport by absolute chance. I was a rugby player, and I was busy with in-season rugby training, and one of my friends invited me to the powerlifting gym, and just to have a session to experience the whole thing, and then for me to get back to my rugby or whatever. I went to the gym, Bar Bullies, which is obviously my not home gym now because I'm in Cape Town, but that's where my coach is, Henk de Vet, and I had a session, and I just ended up never leaving. I'll never forget. It was a Thursday, and I came back Friday, Saturday, the Monday, and I've just been powerlifting ever since.
That is pretty sick. I love how how powerlifting has the power to just pull people in from all kinds of backgrounds.
It totally grips you. I think that's the case for most people. It's such a good feeling to be strong and to learn something new. It's definitely addictive, and I'll probably never ever stop.
And in quite a short time, you've risen up the ranks. I mean, you have one of the I think top 50 dots in the country as a whole ever.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think your dots puts you at 43rd, if I remember correctly. I can look it up now just to make sure. I
was told by a friend of mine as well, which I didn't know because I don't keep sort of track of this stuff. But I was told that I have the biggest sleeve total, tested and untested. I don't know how true that is.
I'll tell you in 1 second.
I don't know, but that's quite cool to know. I mean, this country has phenomenal lifters, so to be in the top 50 is awesome.
You're pretty up there, right? I think Kyle Noonan is probably the only one ahead of you.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Kyle's a freak. Kyle's a freak.
Yeah.
So tell me, aren't you're right now? You're in prep for I think you have essays. I think.
Yeah. We have our nationals on Saturday. I think the competition as a whole actually starts today, but I leave tonight, and I'll weigh in at 11 o'clock on Saturday, and then lift at 1. Very, very excited.
And how are you feeling for it?
No, I'm feeling good. Probably the best that I've ever felt. It was a short prep because I wasn't 100% certain whether I was going to do it or not because of the birth of my daughter. But then my wife really encouraged me that that I should, and went straight into prep. I haven't had too many injuries. My pec and left bicep have flared up a little bit, but that's normal. It always happens. And I haven't gotten sick, most importantly. So I'm feeling super strong.
So with the short prep, are you looking at any PBs coming up at this meet? Are you looking just to coast through and use it as a build up? Like, what's the plan here?
No, definitely. I'll definitely go for PBs. Normally I am just a total guy, so I really worry about building a total and not individual lifts. But this competition's a little bit different for me. I actually want to try and put individual lifts out there. What my coach and myself think that I'm capable of, and we're going to try those individual lifts. If they come off, then great. If not, then there's always next time. But I do, I do believe that I can reach certain number thresholds in the individual lifts.
Are you allowed to say what you're aiming for? You're going to keep it a little close to the chest.
No, I keep nothing close to the chest. So I'm very, very open about all my training and my numbers and stuff like that. Because I have the philosophy, like, you're either stronger or you're not. So if I, let's say, post I don't know, 285 kg squat or whatever, that's not going to make the next guy squat 290 or 295. It's either my competitors have it in them or they don't. If they do, then great. But yeah, so I'm aiming for a 300 kg squat. I think that it's time that I give that a crack. I'd love a 210 kg bench press. And then, if I've got enough juice left in me, maybe like a 305 deadlift. That would be my perfect day, and I'll give it a shot.
That is, it's a special thing when you get the 323, especially in the sleeves competition.
Yeah,
that is an amazing little milestone there.
That's always been my dream. Squat is my favorite lift. Most people probably think that it's a bench, but I've always wanted to squat 300 kilos. It's just it's something that I've been aiming for since I started the sport, and I haven't had it on my back yet, so we'll see how it goes. Like, I haven't squatted it in training or whatever, but I think it's time that we give it a shot and see what happens.
That is freaking awesome. And then after essays, are you planning like worlds? I know with the recent birth of your daughter, things do change a little bit in terms of priorities. But what's your plan for the rest of the year?
So for the rest of the year, I've been invited to World Bench Press, which is luckily in South Africa again, as 3Lift Worlds was last year. So it will be held at Sun City. Definitely going to do that in May. And then should I make the team for the 3Lift, the 3Lift Worlds will be in Malta, Italy in June. So I probably won't go to that one, but I definitely do want to go to the bench press in May, and then sort of just maybe use the rest of the year to get some decent training in, etc., spend some time with family, and sort of, I still want to train, but sort of put it on the back burner. So maybe 3-4 times a week, and then just, focus on my new family.
That is awesome. Tell me, when in May is World Bench?
I'm not sure. My wife will know. I need to check with her. I think it's at the end of May. She I don't know. She knows all my dates and stuff like that. So, but I think it is towards the end of May. Maybe the last weekend of May.
Do a quick check. Reason why I'm asking. Reason why I'm asking is because I find it really fascinating now how we've gotten to a place in SA powerlifting where we have like the number of high quality competitions we have is so frequent, so frequent throughout the year that you have actually a bunch of them happening at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's Arnold's that I miss every year because it's always a month before Worlds. And that's, there's just massive comps happening all the time. There's Commonwealth Games for us as well, every December. It's great. So you have to sort of be very selective about what you do, because you can't also be competing the whole year. So I like to aim for maybe 3 comps maximum. What I generally like to do is to do our nationals so that I can hopefully qualify for worlds, and then I like to do nationals, worlds, and just try and improve my world ranking each year.
No, 100%. Here, the date is between the 20th and the 28th of May, so it's literally the so, Arnold's ends and then this starts.
Yes, you see it's So yeah, I'll probably lift on the 27th, I presume. If the whole thing ends on the 28th, probably the 27th or the 28th.
But on what you just said about lifting 2 to 3 times a year, I find there's a lot of, especially the newer guys to the sport have sort of like because there's so much selection, there's so many competitions happening, they almost like compete too often. And it's like
I noticed that.
I've always said, for me, like I've earlier I used to compete maybe 4 or 5 times a year. I quickly found out the sweet spot is 2 to 3 times a year. Anything more than that, and you're extending your body a little bit too much,
Yeah, and I also the way that I worked it out was in the beginning I also used to, like, every single competition that came up I wanted to be a part of, and then you start doing, like, you maybe at your 4th, 5th competition, and then you realize you've maybe improved 2.5 kilos or 5 kilos on a lift, and you're like, wow, it's been 6, 7, 8 months. And then you realize, okay, it's because I'm always in prep mode. I'm always peaking. I'm not actually training. So I like to train, improve, and then hopefully get some decent PBs every time I step foot onto the platform.
That's the thing. I've said a bunch of times on this podcast. You're either testing your strength or you're building it. You're never doing the 2 of those things at the same time.
No, impossible. Exactly. 100% agree with you.
Now, with your wife knowing all your dates, I presume like you have a really supporting structure there at home.
Yeah, she's awesome, man. She takes care of. She's on top of everything. She's really, really enthusiastic about my competition. She helps me with my food. She's great, man. Like, I have a super, super supportive wife.
Now, how long have you two been together?
So we've been together for almost 5 years, and we've been married for about 1.5 years.
And you guys did not wait any time for that baby, did you?
Yeah, we waited like 6 months. So the agreement was I was going to compete in June last year at Worlds in Sun City, 3 lift Worlds, and that we would try after that. And we tried after that, and we were super lucky for it to happen immediately. So
no, that's awesome. It just was planned. It's like I find with high level sports guys, especially powerlifters, it's even when you have kids, it's like a planned event. It's not like I'm just gonna try for it. It's like, okay, when am I competing? When's my training? It's I'll do it on the Tuesday because Tuesday is my rest day. What's on the Wednesday?
That's how important the sport becomes to powerlifters. And that's just a testament to how awesome the sport is, because it literally, like, I'm not going to say consumes, because that's a bad word, but it like takes over your life in a good way, in all the positive ways imaginable. So
I think of it like it disciplines you, because this is a sport where it's very difficult to be a weekend warrior powerlifter and still compete at the highest level. Like the sport doesn't allow for that too much.
No, exactly. It's like day in and day out, you need to try and look after everything that you are capable of looking after. Your sleep, your eating, when you train. If I'm not mistaken, you're into personal training, right?
Yeah.
So when do you like to train? Do you have sort of that midday gap, or do you like to get it done first thing in the morning before clients?
Well, luckily for me, I do the majority of my coaching online now, so I have a little bit more freedom. But back when I was doing things in person, it was sort of the midday gap.
Okay. So yeah, I've changed careers. So, I was an attorney for 7.5 years, and since November last year, I've also ventured into personal training. And, I've noticed that training times are super important too, because if you're on the floor the whole day and you finish up with your last client at like 8:30, and then you try and train, man, being on your feet all day, it absolutely kills you. So you have to, like, there's the discipline of it all filters in everywhere, and you need to give yourself the best shot.
It's also like I find being like a personal trainer or in the sport helps you think about it a little bit more logically. But I find people who have like a regular 9 to 5, and you'd probably see it when you're attorney and your colleagues and peers and stuff. It's like they try and fit their training in, like, oh, when I have a gap, or I'll do it tonight if I finish this client off early. Whereas if you're engulfed in the sport and you make it regimented, it's like, no, my training has to happen on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday. The
like
rest
it literally
of my life,
has to.
and around that.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. That's always, you always plan for your training, and then it makes sense because your rest days and everything in between, it needs to be calculated 100%. So you say as a joke, like, I need to train on Tuesday and on Friday and whatever the case may be, but that is the actuality of the whole thing, because if you are a day late, that means you recovered a day shorter for the next session, etc. So that is very, very important. Very, very important.
I was chatting to some kid at gym the other day, and I was telling him, like, listen, dude, like, because they do the typical walk into the gym, do what I feel like doing today. It's Tuesday, I haven't trained back for a while, so today I'm training back. And I was like, typically, if you asked me, what am I going to do 5 weeks from Tuesday, I'll tell you the exact training session, the exact numbers, and like everything about that training session is planned weeks in advance.
Same year. And I like to know what I'm doing as well from a mental perspective, because I prepare for my training sessions mentally as well. So I like to know what I'm doing so that I can sort of gear myself up and give the training session the mental respect that it deserves.
No, 100%. So tell me, like, with the sport, like, where do you ultimately see yourself? Like, where are you heading? Like, what's the big hairy goal at the end of the tunnel?
So there's a lot of things. I'd like to have a good positive impact on the sport. I'd like to continue learning from various different coaches, lifters. I'd like to be able to teach. And then from a personal lifting perspective, I just want to continue, or try to continue to get better every year. But I mean, in short, I just want to have a positive impact on the sport, and encourage and help and assist and learn.
And from your own personal sporting prowess, like you said you like building towards a total is normally what your target is. You have like a total in mind for when your competitive career is done.
Well, when I haven't thought about it, that far in advance. But for immediate sort of goals, I think the next number would be 800 kg plus 800 kg or plus total. Last year, June, I managed to get a 787.5. So 800 would be awesome. And then I'd obviously sit down with my coach and plan the next goal. But as long as I'm improving every year, I'll be super stoked.
I find for me, I've had a very specific number in mind for a while, and it's always been like, I want the 1,000 kilo total.
Yeah.
And now it's like and year after year, I'm like chipping away at it. But like I recently turned 30 a couple days ago, and now I'm like, I have the time I have is very finite. And I'm like one of those like.
Yeah. Well, when are you planning to stop?
I'm not planning on stopping per se, but I'm planning on like. If I get the 1,000 kilo total, I'm no longer going to red line as hard. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll be like because to me it's like 1,005 isn't worth the amount of effort it takes to get the next 5 plus 1,000.
Yeah. It's like a milestone once reached. You cool with that.
Like I'm good. Like I'll still do the sport, maybe a little bit more casually. Yeah. I won't spend the fortune I spend right now on like chiro and physio, just like taping my body together because like I always say like my body isn't built for this sport. Like I'm built to be midway strong and not any better. Because every time I get any stronger, like I just break. Like there's always something in me that's going to like for classic example, like now I tweaked my old disc injury in January. So I spent 8 weeks slowly rehabbing it. We brought the weights down, increased the reps. I started doing more tempo, squats, all that stuff. Felt great. First session, like, okay, cool. We're starting nationals prep. I'm going to slap wraps on again. I'm adding maybe 30 kilos to what I was doing naked knee, not a massive jump. Very next day, my knee was swollen. I'm like, my knee wasn't even stuffed in the first place.
Goodness. Oh, that is the absolute worst.
So like my body doesn't like the sport as much as I do.
when is your next competition?
So that'll be at the Olympics. So that's May 20th, 21st.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. You'll be ready. Just try and keep yourself together, man.
that's always the mission. It's like, can I just duct tape long enough to make it to the meet and then back away?
That is the worst thing. My mind is always willing to go out there and fight and give 100% for every single training session. But sometimes the body just doesn't want to play ball.
So I'm getting to that point where it's like, if I get 1,000, it's like, okay, cool. I'm perfectly comfortable getting 1,000. And then
so are you aiming for it for the Arnold? Are you aiming for it for the Arnold?
Oh no, I'm years away.
Okay.
If I can get a 900 at the Arnold's, I'll be super chuffed with that.
Okay. And your best total before that?
870.
Okay, cool.
So
you got this, right?
It on paper it's there. I just need to put it all together on the day.
Yeah, that's the thing. And do you find that you like a game day competitor? Do you level up your lifting, or do you pretty much do the same as you do in the gym, or what's your game day? What comes out of Ed on game day?
Now, typically, I get more on game day than my training would suggest I deserve, because I've had preps where, like, for instance, before nationals last year, I had again, like my lower back was like iffy with me. I couldn't pull 290 off the ground at gym. Like 290 was fucking glued to the ground, because just every time I would like just get off the ground, my back would start tweaking. I just would not. So I'm like, in training, hadn't picked up anything heavier than 280. I still got a 330 something at nationals. So like,
that's insane.
But granted, like I pulled the 330 at nationals and then couldn't walk straight for a week and a half.
Worth it.
Totally worth it. So like, I tend to pull more out of me than I deserve on the day. So I'm hoping that trend continues as I get a little older.
Yeah, no, it will. I think that, if you are that type of lifter that, embraces the moment and lifts well on the day, I think that's sort of like ingrained in you, and you obviously blessed with, being calm and ready on the day. I think the trend will definitely continue.
And yourself, like what's your mental state on the day of a comp?
I'm pretty much very, very relaxed. I never ever get nervous. I never get like super hyped up. I'm just exactly the same as I am in the gym. I'm like very quiet, listen to my music. I make jokes with my close friends, and nothing changes on the day, man. I'll be making jokes with my coach, etc., and just go out there and lift and enjoy it. My dad always taught me that the main thing in sport is to enjoy it, and there's no reason that you should do a sport if you are going to let nerves consume you, and if you're going to just be totally out of it. The sport is there to enjoy. No one's life is no one's dying, no one's going to jail. You should just freaking go out there and enjoy it. It's just a sport.
I feel
and
for me,
and if you have fun, if you have fun, then that's ultimately what you're trying to get out of any sport.
I keep laughing at myself because every single competition in the warm up for squats, I'm always thinking to myself, because I'm not someone who gets nervous leading into a comp.
Yeah,
I will get nervous, heck nervous, when it's like, okay, cool, it's my turn to start warming up for squats, and then suddenly I go from 0 to 100 nerve wise. And the whole time I'm warming up for squats, I'm thinking, why the fuck do I do this sport? This sucks.
For real.
I hate this. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I'm gonna bomb out. This is awful. And I get the first squat on the platform. I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. At least it doesn't, last long, because what I've seen from other people, that nerves can be almost crippling, in a sense, debilitating. You're not moving the same. You're forgetting all your cues. And it's just, nerves. It's healthy, but too much is unhealthy. You need to go out there and have fun. That's why we do it. You don't spend 2.5 hours training every day and molding your whole life around powerlifting. Your reward is the competition, right? So you need to go out there and have fun with what you've worked so hard for.
I've always said, especially particularly with powerlifting, where it's like, if this was soccer, rugby, or cricket, or some other sport where there's actually a lot of money on the line, there's a lot of fame on the line and stuff like that, different story. But here, like, literally, like, the only thing you will get out of the sport is your own enjoyment in it.
It's not our job, it's not how we make money, like you said. So why quote unquote do this to yourself if you're not going to have fun?
No, that's 100%. But speaking about making money in the sport, why would you have gone from being an attorney to now being a personal trainer? Like, talk me through that transition.
So that's okay. So it started, when I was still an attorney in Johannesburg. I sort of like built an online business where I'd have various different clients. Good Johannesburg stable, Cape Town stable, some people from overseas. And when that got, big enough, then, my thinking was, the next step in order to make this my life would be to get into a gym so that I could pursue my passion. Because, it's not that I didn't love the law. I just loved this better. And it's you're asking from a financial perspective. This has become more financially viable for me than being an attorney, actually. So
there's a reason I brought it up, because most people wouldn't think so.
No, yeah. So like I'm still like online is not my main thing. Like in-person training is my main thing, and I see anywhere between 8 to 10 people a day, and sometimes on Saturdays as well. So I'm very blessed to be super busy, and everything. It was a massive risk that I took, but it's 100% paid off. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
No, I've always said there's a lot of money to be made in this industry, But the caveat is
sure.
it's not as the pathways to it aren't paved for you. Whereas if you
have to
graduate as an attorney, it's like, okay, I have to go work as a lawyer. I need to find a law firm. I need to someone's going to pay me a salary. I just need to figure out whom. Whereas with this one, it's a constant amount of you make your own destiny. You got to pave your own path here. It's your own skill sets what rewards you.
Exactly. And you sort of have to, as you said, you have to pave the way for yourself. So, you have to, make connections with people and, sort of just, mingle and put yourself out there. And, if you do that, then I believe that you would be a successful personal trainer. And so, you have to be a people's person. So,
which I find I'm naturally very introverted. It's like if left to my own devices, it's sort of like, okay, I want to talk to you for all of 5 minutes, then okay, I kind of you're taking up a lot of my emotional energy now. I want to back into a cave. Which is probably why I enjoy the online space versus the in-person space, because I found having to engage with someone, engaging with the first 2 or 3 clients I saw in a day was easy. It was that 8th one I saw at night where it's like, I really don't want to talk to you for the next hour.
You're in are you in Port Elizabeth?
Yeah, I'm in PE.
Okay, that's where I was born.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When did you move out of here?
So I was in Port Elizabeth from birth until 13 years old. Then I moved to Johannesburg, and then about 2 years ago I moved to Cape Town.
Where are you on the Cape Town versus Durban debate? Which one do you prefer?
Well, I haven't been to Durban in a while, but don't foresee.
I mean, Joburg, Cape Town. Sorry.
Definitely Cape Town. Definitely. I mean, the quality of life here is absolutely amazing, and there's a reason why people from all over the world, France, Spain, whatever, there's a reason that they all come here in December. It's like a multicultural event here in December. You hear different languages from everywhere that you walk. You just see tourists, and there's a reason that they come here. It's because it's freaking amazing.
I freaking love it. The company I work for, Jeff, is based in Cape Town. So last year I was traveling to Cape Town. Every other month I'd be in Cape Town for a week to a month long, and I freaking love it there. I'm looking for an excuse to move there because the only thing stopping me right now is just that increased cost of living. I'm like, I need a justifiable reason other than I just feel like it.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I would encourage you to definitely do it. Should it make sense at the end of the day for you? I mean, you won't regret it. It's a freaking incredible place, and there's a lot of opportunities here. So, I encourage you to do it if you guys are able to.
What I love about Cape Town for the powerlifting space is the powerlifting culture there is quite rich. Yeah,
I mean it's come up a lot. A few years ago, I think the mecca of South African powerlifting was everyone was from Joburg, all the best lifters were from Joburg, etc. But now, Cape Town, I would say over the past 2 years or so, have become incredible, and it's almost become like a little tight knit community where everybody supports each other, everybody helps each other out. There's a lot of competitions that are going on here now in terms of club competitions and stuff, which is great to grow the sport. So Cape Town's definitely on the up with regards to powerlifting, which is awesome to see.
I love where powerlifting is as a whole too, because I feel like the community as a whole is getting quite large, first of all, and also getting quite close knit. Like you and I have never actually spoken. We have a few friends in common, but you and I have never actually spoken. But I became aware of you a year and a half, 2 years ago already, and I love how in powerlifting everyone kind of knows who everyone else is, even if you're not close with each other.
You know, exactly. It's because you know, I think that we all interested in what everybody's doing with regards to powerlifting. We talk about each other, and I mean this in the best way. Like, you know, I could, let's say, like, see Sipo walking in the mall, and he could be like, "Hey man, did you see Eddie's freaking squat the other day? It was incredible." You know, that we talk about each other in that regard, and that to me is like super supportive, and one of the main reasons why we are growing, because we want to, the vibe that I get at least is we all want to see each other succeed. I mean, you know, taking it, we both can't wait to see Nicholas on the platform again. We both can't wait to see what Colton brings, and that's like you know, it's like we're just rooting for each other all the time. That's why there's such rapid growth.
It's almost like we like in very few other sports you get this. It's almost like we realize the better other people do, it almost serves as a confirmation that what I'm planning on doing is possible. If that person can do it, I can do it. And the more examples of what I want to do are out there, the more encouragement I have to do it myself.
100%, 100%, and seeing what these South African lifters do definitely motivates me a ton. Like, I love to see it. And you know, we've got some world class lifters in this country, which is awesome. And as you said, if you know, if I see these guys do it, it's like, cool, man. Like, I also want to be you know, one of the best in the world, just like Nicholas, for an example, or just like Colton, or you know.
I think you're well on your way there. You're well on your way there, dude. So I don't want to keep you too long. I know you have to start packing. You're about to take a little trip for essays.
I actually haven't packed. Yeah, I need to pack.
Good. Wishing you best of luck. We're gonna be watching you. We're gonna be paying attention.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
I'm looking forward to that 800 plus total. I think you definitely have.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it my best shot.
Lovely, man. Listen, say hello to your lovely family from me. I hope you have a fantastic
I will.
trip. And then
thanks, brother. Okay, thank you, brother. Thanks for having me. Awesome to chat. Cheers, bro. Bye. Cheers,